What's going on, everybody? I'm back. For everybody that's already watched my videos, you know what this is about. Everybody else, this is part 5 of my video blog of the process of getting my carry permit in New Jersey. Yes, you can actually get one if you meet certain requirements, and you can convince not only your chief but the judge that you actually have a reason, which you don't really need to do in 45 other states, but I guess New Jersey's New Jersey. Hopefully they change it, but it is what it is right now. That being said, I'm probably 20 or 21 days in from the date that I submitted my packet. I come to find out 3 days after I submitted my package, they already started calling. Hi, kitty cat, move. They already started calling my references. Unfortunately, all 3 of them just so happened to be on vacation, so they didn't get to talk to them the first time they called. Since then, they were able to get a hold of 2 of the 3 references that I put down. First reference, they asked a few typical questions. One, if they knew that I put them down as a reference. Dumb question. They also asked them if I knew I was applying for a permit. Again, dumb question. Reason being, the application, they have to actually sign it. So they should know what they're signing, right? Anyway, the other question was if they knew the reason why I was applying. And lastly, if I had a history of being angry easy, or if I anger easily, I think is what she actually said. She answered all the questions, and she told me that she believes that she felt the conversation went very well and was good. My other reference, they asked him somewhat similar questions. But then again, it's still kind of dumb, right? They asked, did you know that John put you down as a reference? Yeah. Did you know he was applying for a permit? Yes. Then it came into talking about work, because he asked him if he had a problem knowing, or had a problem with knowing if I got a carry permit that I would be carrying. He went on to tell the detective that no, he had no problem with me carrying. One, because he knew me a long time and that he worked with me, and the fact that he knew I was in the service, that he knew I went through training, I went through safety courses. He knows I train with my weapon a lot. I go to the range. He explained all this to them. But in that process, this is what came out of it. The detective goes, so you work with him? And he goes, yes, I work with him. And they asked him if I worked at the place of business that was labeled on my application, and he said yes. And then the detective asked him, is there a number that I can call to verify his employment there? And for the life of me, I think that's a dumbass question. But then again, it's New Jersey, so I'm not surprised. But he just told you that he's worked there for 22, 23 years, and that I work with him. Shouldn't that have been confirmation? Just saying. But anyway, then after that, he asked him, well, if he gets a permit, how would you feel if he was carrying at work? And he said that he didn't mind and he didn't care, and that we often go to rough, pretty bad areas, and that he actually wouldn't mind it at all. He might actually prefer it. So that was a plus. So he gives him the phone number to my boss. Now that's where it gets a little sketchy, because I didn't know how that was going to go. And by the time he told me that he had this conversation, a few days went by and I didn't get a chance to tell my boss that they actually might be getting a phone call. So when I go to my boss and say, hey, you might be getting a phone call from my township about my carry permit, before I was able to finish the sentence, she told me that they already called her. And then she volunteered the information or the questions that they asked her. First question was if she knew that I was applying for a carry permit. They wouldn't know this, I guess, unless they did real research, but she's actually the one that notarized one of my documents that I needed. So, yes, she knew that I was applying for my carry permit. They asked her if she had a problem with it. She said no. They asked her what's her feeling knowing that I might be carrying. She said she didn't mind at all, and being a woman business owner, she actually wouldn't mind it if there was a little bit of protection. That led the detective to ask her if I got a carry permit, if she would allow me to carry at work. When she told me that, I was actually kind of not sure how that question was going to be answered. However, she surprised me with her answer, kind of, and she said that she told the detective that she would 100% allow me to carry at work, in a company vehicle, and anywhere I'm legally allowed to carry if I had a permit. So that was great, you know. I didn't like the fact that they actually called my work, but I'm guessing the questions went pretty well, or they were answered good enough. Now, my third reference just got back from vacation, and they're a little bit on the older side. Known them almost 20 years, and they know my wife her entire life. So, they have not got a phone call. I don't know if they got enough info from the people that they talked to already, but they have not called her, and it's been, like I said, 20 or 21 days. But they did call my first reference within 3 days of me dropping off my application. So I can't imagine that it would take them 17, 18 more days to call another reference. That being said, I really don't know where to stand. Both my references that they talked to, plus my boss, all said the detective was very nice. They believed the conversation went very well. They also believed that they answered their questions in such a way that was positive, that I don't know how you can tell this from a phone call, but they seemed to be definitely half glass full about the impression that they left, leading me to believe that my percent of approval level went from like 1% to like 7. Still a 93% chance I'm going to get denied. But you never know. I believe it's 45 days. They have to respond either with a denial or an approval at the local level. For some reason, I thought they might have changed it to 60 days, or it used to be 60 days, and when the executive order got passed, it went to 45. So I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to stick with 45 right now. So we're about halfway there. I really don't know what possibly investigation they can be continuing on. And what process they're doing, because I got my purchase permit probably 8-9 days prior to me applying for my carry permit. So everything that they did, fingerprint wise, background check wise, everything should be super, super recent. And I haven't done anything in the, ever. But nothing's changed. I did have to go get my fingerprints redone for another $54, even though they used the exact same fingerprints 8 days ish prior. Dumb. My fingerprints don't change. They didn't go anywhere, and I didn't grow a new ring on my finger print. So whatever, I'm just doing everything that I can to make them happy. Now, from what he told me, 2 people in 11 years have applied at that police department. 2. Both of them were ex-cops, and they just processed the paperwork and sent it to the state police. Both were approved. In the last 23 years that he's been a part of this police department, that he knows of, a total of 5 people have applied. Civilians, all have which have been denied. But rules, regulations, or whatever you want to call it, have changed since then. But it also leads me to believe that they have no backlog and no reason to delay an investigation. So, though I want to say that they will drag it out to their 45-day limit, I kind of want to half say I think they'll get it done sooner than that. I got my purchase permits in 8 days. 8. When I have people that I talk to online on my Facebook pages, sometimes in North Jersey they can take 4 to 6 months to process it, and then when they get their carry permit, their purchase permit, they're already a week or 10 days, sometimes 2 weeks in to the 90-day allotted time that your permit's good for. So by the time they pick it up, they're already 2 weeks in. And that's just because they just delayed the phone call to let them know that they were done. So I picked mine up 8 days after I dropped it off. I could have picked it up in 6, but I just wasn't available to go get it, and the office was closed by the time I get done work. So they ran everything, processed everything, did whatever investigation they needed to do, and called me and left a message saying my permits were ready to be picked up, all within 6 days. I picked them up on the 8th day. And I used them on the 10th. and got myself another one. But now I have to wait, 30 days, right? Anyway, I just wanted to keep everybody updated. The process so far has been smooth. Some things I don't like. Getting my fingerprints redone, didn't like that. The fact I have to qualify, I had to qualify in every gun that I intend to carry, even though your carry permit does not say what guns you're allowed to carry. Unlike there is some states that your permit will list on the back, from what I was told, the guns that you were authorized to carry. That's not the case in Jersey. Your carry permit is your carry permit. It's not even a concealed carry permit from what I was told. It's just a carry permit. Therefore, you could open carry, but I don't care. If you have the best lawyer in the world, it's probably best not to. So I will be using it as a concealed carry. Well, until I get any more news or I end up in court in front of the judge waiting for his approval or denial. Until next time, peace.